back. I'm here to do the Scorpio full moon reading. Today is Saturday, May 18th. The moon actually has not gone full yet completely. It happens at 5:10 p.m. New York time. And I wanted to get it up before then. So this is before the actual full, as that energy is approaching. Now, I want to start with the Sabians because they're actually quite interesting. And, in the last reading I did, I kept calling this a new moon, even though I was actually looking at the planets in a full moon formation. And I think actually when I was looking at the Sabians, I kind of understood why that was, because usually full moons have an energy of culmination, of ending. And this one has that too, but what's culminating is a new identity or a new sense of self. And we see that, excuse me, in first we have here the moon, which is in Taurus's house, and the sun here is in Scorpio's house. So you see they're kind of flipped on their heads. And Mercury's right here conjunct the sun. So this is actually quite an informative moon. And then this Mercury here trines Pluto. So this is a very friendly relationship between those two planets. And what it means is that there's a consolidation or a communication or a realization of the transformation that's been happening. It's kind of like it's sediments, right? But let's look at the Sabian for the sun, which is: a woman in middle life stands in rapt, sudden realization of forgotten charms in an unexpected recovery of romance. Now, remember here we have Venus conjunct Uranus, and this is a sudden romantic realization. So this sun here is kind of talking about this conjunction right here, and it's a really nice image because it's kind of like a renewal of hope, a renewal of sense of self, coming back to one's own, remembering what we're made of, or remembering that there is love in us, or remembering that which makes us feel loved. So it's a very nice sun, this where it's sitting on. Now on the opposite side, we have at 28 Scorpio, the king of fairies approaching his domain. Now, again, this is also interesting because you have the moon, which is a female planet, with a male figure in it. And then you have the sun, which is more of a masculine planet, with a female figure. So you see this sort of repetition of kind of topsy-turvy energy, like everything's almost like being flipped on its head. And it's also an interesting image because the king of fairies, first of all, usually we think of fairies as female. So the king of the fairies approaching his domain it's a big homecoming, and on the other side, you have this woman realizing or waking back up to herself. So both of these talk about kind of an integration of the male-female energy, a blending really more than anything else of the male-female energy, and a coming back to oneself, a homecoming to oneself. And if we look at the North Node here, which is in the 9th house, now obviously this is going to be different for everywhere. This is just the chart for New York. But the North Node in the 9th house is a shift, an evolution of beliefs, of philosophies, of expansive thinking, So there is kind of this feeling of waking back up to ourselves, about getting confirmation of the transformation that's been happening. So it's a culmination of newness. Which is, it's interesting. So it may feel, and we've been having a lot of these symbols that sort of feel like out of place, with the guy in the fancy hat braving the storm. So things may not look as we expect them to, and they may be coming to us in different channels than what we had thought. But the truth is that all that upside downness is helping to balance out the energies in order that we may wake up to, it's like when you have the two scales and they're not exactly precise, you have to maybe put a little on one and a little on the other. So it's kind of this like balancing out the scales until we get that equilibrium perfect, and we can finally come home to ourselves, which is kind of, that's the vibe of this moon. So let's take a look at the cards and I'll be right back. Hello guys. All right, let's do full moon, Scorpio full moon today, May 18th, 2019 for Aries. What energy does this Scorpio full moon bring for Aries? Look what wanted to come out but didn't. So I'm going to put it right back in there and take a new one. Nice. It's not super interesting also because you watched me shuffle these, that confusion was like right there and it was about to come out, but this is what came out. So that's very cool, right? And it's also because, see, remember there were all the confusion card. Let me see, it's right here. The confusion card has you all like, I don't know what to do. These clouds are all around me. And you see now she's doing what she loves and the clouds are outside. So she put some distance between her from those clouds simply by doing what she's passionate about, All right, let's get another one. May I have the energy, please, for the Scorpio full moon and passion Scorpio. Lovely. Scorpio full moon for Aries, May 18th, 2019. What energy for Aries? Scorpio full moon, May 18th. Scorpio full moon, May 18th, 2019 for Aries. Dutch deck. The Dutch deck doesn't want to talk today. What messages do we have for Aries for the Scorpio full moon? Okay, as you know, I have to look that one up, but we'll see what it says. May I have? Okay, very quick. All right, so this came out reverse, which is, it's clean it up. And clean it up is usually when it's in the direct position, it means that like tend to the little things. And I think, I don't remember where it was, but a couple of readings ago, we had something about tying up loose ends, that like getting rid of some of the stuff from the past that needs to just be taken care of really quick so you can move forward. So that's probably what that is. May I have 3 cards, please, for Aries, Scorpio full moon, May 18th, 2019. 2 more cards, please, for Aries, Scorpio full moon, May 18th. Those are 2 very different energies and both 9s, right? And so it's like from one to the other, and look at the difference. And this is kind of like also, it reminds me a little bit of that confusion card, and this one of that. So that's a nice like flip. Plus there's that male figure, the female figure, this sort of balancing of those energies of having searched within to come back to oneself. So this is kind of, to me, it's mirroring the two Sabians. Also because the Hermit is kind of like, I would think of like Gandalf, and there's the Scorpio card right there. So yes, so this is all about this transformation that's been happening, leveling up, moving on from whatever it was, laying waste to the things that no longer were necessary because we have to get to. And you see how the sun's always just like through the threshold. It's like moving forward towards this sun. So let me look this one up right here and I will be right back. Okay, so interesting messages here. So this one says is gifted, right? And it says that each one of us has a very distinct and unique gift that we bring to our lives and to others, which is based in our passions, right? And it says that when we don't express, sometimes we can be afraid of expressing these gifts. Sometimes we think we're not good enough, and we think other people are better at it than us. And actually, what this card says in its write up is that the greatness you see in others is actually a reflection of the greatness in you. So what you are seeing in other people that you may currently be saying, oh, they're better at me than, is actually an invitation to realize that within yourself, you know, and that's that actually within you, that light that you're looking for is right here. You see how like it's all the yellow. So if you look within, what you'll discover is a very abundant, blessed, content being. Uh, and and this card here, so as I said, the cleaning up is about like tying up loose ends. But when it's in the reverse, like this one, it says that you may be putting too much attention on others. So finding a balance between using your gifts towards others or using your gifts for yourself, right? Or perhaps it's like that there's too much focus right now on other people and you need to bring the focus back to the discovery of your own internal richness, and that's the transformation. Now remember, those Sabian symbols all talk about a coming home to self, a realization. And the Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus can be very much about a sudden realization of gifts, you know, and it may be in the physical material realm, or it may be in the talent, in the passion, um, in creative expertise. So there may be, with this full moon, there may be a sudden sort of coming to or accepting of one's personal journey and path, right? It's like if we saw that confusion in the path of like, what am I here to do? What's my purpose? What's my calling? And we've been seeing also in the readings that it talks about already having been on the path. Now, the path doesn't always reveal itself because sometimes it can be shrouded in darkness. And there's a saying that came to mind just now, which actually reminds me a little bit about this, is that life is sometimes like driving at night. You can't see the final destination, but you just need enough light to illuminate what's right in front of you and just keep always following that. And it will ultimately lead you to where you want to be. So you know, if the path isn't 100% clear, which it may not be, that's kind of what we've been seeing, about having to keep pushing through even when things look dire, you know, because it may, like I said, it may not look, the path to the sun may be riddled with loss, and that's not necessarily a bad. So you may think like, no, this can't be like, this can't be what it looks like, but actually that's the path. So to continue moving forward, following the light that's right in front of you, and that light that's in front of you is going to be that which brings you joy, that which you are, have, that unique gift that you have. And how can you find that unique gift is often through other people mirroring it back to you. and again, it's also this male female energy. It's like looking into the polar opposite, you find the reflection of you. So it may be that your gift, the realization of your gift and passion, comes to you through the interaction with others, or what you see in others that you may be um, jealous of or wish you could do more, is actually kind of the sign that it's what you're here to do. And you see, even in this reading here, this card like super pops out, so it's kind of all about discovering the gift right now and not being afraid to share it, because that's also another thing. It's sometimes we walk away from our gift because we're afraid to fail. And sometimes it's easier to have a dream in the box than a failed dream. But the cards are saying that, the path will sort of rise up to meet you, that it may not be clear where the final destination is, but if you just keep following that which you feel passionate about, and that which lies within yourself, the light within yourself that makes you feel this abundance, that will never steer you wrong. It may not look the way you think it's going to look, but where that horse is headed is to the sun on the horizon. And so to take your attention off of other people and what other people are doing and how they're doing it better, and to put it back onto you, discovering that which makes you glow. You see how like there's kind of that like halo, or this yellow halo around her of abundance and richness. That's how, and also here it's kind of like replicated in that there's sort of this like yellow glow going on. When you feel that energy, and you feel that like vibrational expansion, that's when you know you're in the right place, and that's when you're connected to this infinite universal gift. Okay. Thanks for watching. I will see you on Monday with the extendeds. Okay. Take care.